I'd like to thank my family for the impact they've had on me. Both my parents, my twin brother and little brother were an extremely close family. Being from Tulsa, Oklahoma and going all the way to DePauw University was a big move. And having my parents there to support me along the way, and then to be there and to make as many games as they possibly could is something that I'm forever grateful for. To have my twin brother with me, getting to play football together for 4 more years was something that was extremely special. And then to have my little brother Hatcher there to support was also something I'm very grateful for and looking forward to get to support him now that my career is over.
I'd like to thank my dad for the impact that he has had on my life, especially in my athletic career. He has taught me so many life lessons, and looking back as a younger kid, I definitely kind of just blew past them, but now with my 4 years being done, looking back of everything he has ever taught me, he was 100% correct, and I feel like he's guided me in the exact footsteps that I wanted in my life. So.
I'd like to thank my grandma for the impact that she's had on my life. That impact being to be kind to others and to love others and how to do that. My grandma is a great example on how to be kind and how to approach strangers politely and to be humble, but also have a sense of pride in how you carry yourself and how you treat others. My grandma would always tell me, when you're good at something, you'll tell others about it, but when you're great at something, others will tell you about it. So that left a big impact on me to not worry about how others perceive me, rather than just loving others for who they are, and from all different backgrounds, people of different cultures, different ethnicities, different upbringings, just because that's what we're called to do, is to love others. And I thank my grandma for teaching me that.
Someone I would like to thank for the impact they've had on my life is definitely my parents. They've always supported me growing up. They've bought into everything I've ever wanted to get involved with and have always been my #1 supporters throughout my career.
I'd like to thank my mom and dad for keeping me competing at lacrosse at a young age. They helped foster my confidence, and they pushed me to be my best and try my hardest while enjoying the sport that I love.
I'd like to thank my dad. I think that I've been really lucky with really supportive parents throughout my entire academic and athletic journeys. I think my dad specifically and I align a lot in our competitive energies, and I think that he's done a really excellent job in bringing me up when I'm down, but also celebrating me at my highs. I think that athletics have always been a part of my childhood. He also was a collegiate athlete, and so he always has been a resource for me, just to kind of, again, just support me, whether that's in times of crisis or supporting me for things like my senior day or big games. And I just know that he's always in my corner, and he's my biggest cheerleader always. I always look forward to my post-game text from my dad.
There are a few people that I would like to strongly thank for their impact on my life. One of them is my dad. My dad has had a huge impact on me every day. Every day he has been very supportive of me in a lot of ways. One of the biggest ways he's been supportive of me was before meets. Every day before I would run a meet or do any other sport on the day of the competition before, in the morning he would either tell me in person, "Good luck, go kill it," or he would text me and say, "Good luck, TT, go kill it, you got it, TT, you got it." Another person that I would like to strongly thank for a huge impact on me was my cross-country and wrestling coach in high school, Mr. Shane Francoeur. Mr. Shane Francoeur, during practice, would always have big lessons towards me and whatever, like, "Come on, Tyler, you can do it. Come on, Tyler, you're almost there."
Someone I'd like to thank for the impact on my life was my assistant and then head distance coach in high school, Joe Murphy. He became an assistant for us my sophomore year, which was the summer of 2020, so during COVID, and that was, it was a rough time for a lot of us. And I struggled sophomore year with injuries and just self-doubt, but then, throughout my junior and senior year, as he transitioned to head coach, he became a really positive impact on my life and really like believed in me and had instilled that belief in me to, that I can, run fast and I can exceed my expectations that I have for myself. And to this day, he still believes in me and texts me every once in a while to, make sure I'm doing all right and, encourages me to, try my best.
If I could thank, it's two people, both my brothers, Ty Evans, Anthony Helton. Ty really inspired me when I was young to continue athletics. It was more in the football scope. He helped me, just keep up my discipline. He did a lot of the stuff with me in the weight room. And then when I got to college, for my sophomore year, I saw my little brother Anthony really develop in his faith in God and in his athletics at DIII. And that sort of inspired me to, better myself through athletics when I started hitting my little slump in college.
Someone that I would have to thank for their impact on my life would be my dad. He is the reason that I am a golfer, and he's also the one that has pushed me for all these years. He was my coach growing up and has continued to support me throughout my time in collegiate golf.
Someone I want to thank for the impact they've had on my athletic journey is one of my assistant high school basketball coaches, Coach Joe. He still, to this day, 6 years later, texts me after games and asks about how I'm doing and how the team's doing. And he was definitely someone that had a lot more confidence in me than I had in myself, which I think was really beneficial when trying to pick a college. And he just had a lot of belief in me when I didn't have a lot of belief in myself.
Someone I would like to thank is my mom. She has always been supportive of me no matter what my score is on the course. She never fails to put so much optimism in me, and she makes sure that I have fun in my sport no matter how I'm doing, no matter how I'm feeling. She's very important to me in that aspect. So
I'll probably just say my dad, really. I mean, my parents in general. They've always been very, very supporting. They've probably helped me through honestly every situation I've been in. I just can't thank them enough. I'm probably forever grateful for the stuff that they've done for me and just helped me out. And I wanted to quit a bunch of times just because I get frustrated, especially in college because it's a whole different world from high school. But just sitting down with my parents and just having those talks about if I should or if I shouldn't, and they just led me in the right way.
I'd like to thank my dad for having such an impact on the sport that I play. He gave me my very first lessons, and he always told me that no matter how poorly a match or a competition might be going, to always give my best effort.
I would like to thank a few people. I think first and foremost, I'd like to thank my parents. I would not be where I am without all of their love and support through the years. They're the ones who got me into tennis when I was 4. So it was just a summer camp, really fun, laid back, easy, and I totally fell in love with it. And they've really been the biggest supporters of my love and passion for it ever since. And I also want to thank all of my closest friends at Oberlin, Michael Dinkel, Riley Stagel, Jill Jensen, and Oliver Ferranda. These are 4 people who are really some of my nearest and dearest friends. They show up for me every single day in more ways than I can describe. And without them, I don't think I'd be, again, where I am now.
I want to thank my parents. I know oftentimes growing up, a lot of our vacations were based around lacrosse, whether it be going on camping trips near tournaments or going to a beach in between games and different things like that. And one of my favorite memories of that is that my dad played baseball growing up, so he had a baseball glove lying around, and neither of my parents really knew anything about lacrosse, but we'd go out in the yard and play catch with me with my lacrosse stick and them with baseball gloves.
I'd like to thank my college coach, Coach Semet, for her impact throughout my field hockey career, because I've known her probably since halfway through high school, and she's really helped me learn to believe in myself and trust the process and learn to make mistakes because they make you better.
I would like to thank my dad for the impact he's had on my life. He really encouraged athleticism, but most importantly, joy in athleticism. And I think really finding the fun and working out. I remember always going to the gym with him and just doing any number of activities. And I think he really encouraged me to enjoy whatever I do athletically. And I think that's what's made my D3 experience so valuable.